So what are the 5 things you should stop doing in order to become more healthy? Stop interrupting your sleep, stop drinking your calories, stop eating sugar, stop eating grains, and stop smoking. And why did I pick these 5 things? Well, let's start about interrupting sleep. What do I mean interrupting your sleep? Well, when you use an alarm clock in the morning and you wake yourself up to alarm clock, you're actually interrupting your sleep and pretty much destroying your gains, health, and etc. See, when you're sleeping, there are these sleep cycles. And you go in and out of these cycles naturally. And when you use an alarm clock in the morning and force yourself to wake up, you're essentially, breaking these cycles in a way that, disrupts your body's natural functions. So when you do that, you are diminishing your health in a major way. And what I mean about, stop drinking liquid calories. What do I mean? Well, liquid calories most of the time are extremely, bad for you. Let's say like sodas and orange juice and etc. Juices they're pretty terrible for you actually, because they have very little nutrients and they have lots of sugar, which means they are going to, destroy your teeth and give you excess calories really easily. And the third thing, what did I list as the third? Well, let's talk about grains anyway. Stop eating grains. Grains are extremely, overrated food. I don't understand how did they become such a staple in modern society. Because they are just full of anti-nutrients and garbage, and they leach minerals out of your body and provide very little nutritional value to you. So you should stop eating grains, and don't believe just me. Just do your own research about this subject, because it's just terrible. Shitty food. Cheap, shitty food. And the fourth thing was sugar. So stop eating sugar. That is pretty, nowadays I think most people know that they should stop eating sugar. But they do not want to, because most things that have a lot of sugar in it taste good. And what tastes good is something that we want to eat and enjoy. And the fifth thing was stop smoking. Well, that is extremely obvious, but it has to be listed in this list because, well, smoking is just terrible for you. And I know it's hard to quit, and I used to smoke when I was a teenager, etc. But so I know how hard it is to quit it, but you just gotta do it. So how should we implement a game plan to tackle these issues? Well, in terms of sleep, you should, exercise and move outside during the daylight hours in order to expose yourself to, daylight. Because daylight is a way for your brain to stop producing melatonin during the day, so that when you actually go to bed, you will get the natural melatonin spike in your body, which helps you to fall asleep. And when you move your body, we all know we are, meant to move our bodies because we evolved this body through movement. And if we don't move our bodies throughout the day, we are, full of restless energy and can't sleep and get, jittery and all that stuff. So that is also a part of it. And one part is also, blocking blue light in the evening. So either you have to stop using all kinds of screens, phones, tablets, computers, or you install these blue light blocking softwares on your phones and tablets and computers, because when you are seeing the blue light in the evening, your brain thinks that it's still, that it's day. it interprets the blue light as sunlight or daylight. So when you're exposed to that in the evening, it's really hard to sleep after that. And the liquid calories, well, we as humans, we don't really need anything else other than water, Even coffee and all that stuff is not necessary, but I would recommend that you switch all your sodas and garbage like that to, at least 0-calorie sodas. But I would suggest that you go straight into, water, tea and coffee. And the third thing, what did I list as third? Well, let's talk about grains. Just change your grains to vegetables. Because vegetables, we all know that vegetables are good for you. Although, even that might be, up to debate nowadays. Because, for example, I don't eat any vegetables nowadays. But I will talk about that topic in later videos. That might sound really weird that, what, you don't eat any vegetables and you claim to be a healthy person? Well, like I said, I'm going to explain that further in the later videos. So sleep, grains, liquid calories, sugar. Well, I hate to break it to you, but there is no easy ways to, really go about it. You just, stop eating packaged, pre-made, garbage foods. Because if you don't, it's extremely easy to, it's extremely hard to avoid sugar if you eat these pre-made processed foods. Because pretty much most of them, especially if you live in the United States, they are just so filled with garbage shit. Just pretty much pour sugar in everything. So just avoid them altogether, and that is, a great way to avoid sugar. And also, that way you increase your appreciation for food when you start making it yourself every day. And the fifth thing, the smoking. When I smoked as a teenager, I eventually managed to quit the habit by buying this electronic cigarette. And it took, maybe a couple of months with that. I just smoked it whenever I wanted to, because I didn't have to, go outside to smoke. So I could just sit home and smoke it inside. And what that did was break the habit of smoking. And I believe that is the hardest part about smoking to quit. Because the actual nicotine addiction is not that hard to quit. But the hardest part is, the routine, the habit of, smoking. You eat, you go to smoke outside, you piss, you go outside to smoke, and etc. That becomes a, really bad habit to kick off, because you do it so repeatedly, year after year. And you always get this, nicotine boost from it. So it becomes extremely hard habit to kick off, but with the electronic cigarette you break off the habit of going outside to smoke. And you only get the nicotine. So it breaks the habit. And then you can just, for a couple of days break off the nicotine addiction, and you suddenly realize that I'm smoke free. So those are the 5 things you should stop doing if you want to become more healthy. That's it for the day. Bye bye.